Hello, world out. This is Wolfstar Games, and welcome to Anton's Jam Session. Join in the party here. It's like, I swear, the music in this is so good. I love it, especially with this really rockin' song. Anyway, last time we got into a scene with the Frau, and we got to go one-on-one with the best of the best in Kill Ballad, and we actually wound up winning the match, surprisingly. I thought it would take a lot more than that. Regardless, though, we made it out on top. We're still not number one in the leaderboards, but, you know, we're getting our way there, it seems. Anyway, last we left off, we had switched to the point of view of Akiho, and we're in the robot clinic. I cover my ears with my hands and set foot into the store. Doc is usually sitting behind the counter, but today he's actually working at the workbench. A big diesel engine sits atop it. Oh, the engine that we had used in Gun Build 1? Of course, it's the one that was in Gun Build 1. Yep. It looks like he started taking it apart right away. I guess to find out what went wrong. Surprisingly, Doc notices me enter the store and turns down the music volume on his own. For once, Agio doesn't have to yell at him to turn it down.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
今日は気が利くね、ドク。
If only he'd do this every time. I almost end up saying that out loud, but swallow my words at the last moment.
一人か。付き添いはどうした？
Kaito, he's off with the Frau right now. So, it's like, I know that, but they don't.
別行動。
Kai said he had something to do today and left early in the morning. He didn't tell me where he went. I figured. It's like I don't understand why he's so secretive. Especially with Akiho. It's like, you think he'd be more open with her, seeing that they've known each other for so long. I wonder what he's doing running around alone lately. And of course, he's worrying Akiho tremendously by being so secretive. Maybe it's related to the monopole? I mean, that's one part of why he's being so secretive. But it's not just that. Anyway, that's why I'm visiting the robot clinic on my own today. Either of us could have an attack out of nowhere, so we try not to do things alone. Right. It's like they try to be together as much as they can, so if one of them has an attack, the other is there for them. Or at least that's the promise we made way back when. I'm feeling kind of lonely. Aww. It's like, I feel ya, Akiho. It's like, I would feel a little lonely too if my best friend in the world was off doing God knows what, not knowing what he's doing.
エンジンならついさっきいじり始めたところだ。
Oh, you just started working on it. I thought he would be working diligently on it ever since after the test.
一度完全にばらしてオーバーホールする。
Completely overhaul it. I mean, is that really worth it though? You know, especially since the engine is an old 30-year-old engine. I mean, I feel like I feel like it's not worth it. Why overhaul an old engine like that when they can just get a new engine?
ちゅうことは思えねえような出来に仕上げてやるよ。
I mean, that's all and well and good, but all the same.
よろしく。首洗って待ってるから。
それを言うなら首を長くしてだろうが。
ああ、そうだっけ？
Isn't that basically the same thing? Basically, yes.
で、要件はまたパーツが入りようか。
Like buying parts, or is she there for some other reason?
何でも言ってくれや、お得意さん。
A little misregular. Doc slightly bends the corners of his lips in a half attempt of a smile. Was that supposed to be a smile? I mean, he's trying to be more personable with Akio, I guess.
あのロボの改良でも追っ始めるってんなら相談に乗ってやってもいい。
I mean, that's great, but overhauling an old engine?
本当？1号機をちゃんと歩けるようにするにはどうしたらいいかとかわかる？
当たり前だ。伊達にロボドクターは自称してねえよ。
Of course. I mean, he can do anything with robots, right? So I imagine he could very well overhaul the engine for the purposes of running a robot, but it's like they really should get a new engine if they're gonna continue to work on Gunbuild 1.
そういえばドクはいつからロボドクターなの？昔の話って今まで一度も話してくれてないよね。
Yeah, it's like the little bit that we've gotten of his past is, from, his granddaughter Juna. It's like with her experience of being afraid of robots because of him. But that's about it. We've never really known what got him into robots in the first place, and how he became the masterful robot doctor. So it's like I'm very curious of this myself.
お前に話さなきゃいけねえ道理はどこにもねえからな。
Really? Come on, there has to be a reason why you got into robots and all. So, like, give me something, Doc. Come on.
話してよ。
I am literally Akio right now.
名乗ったのは20年くらい前だ。ナスダを辞める前後だな。
20 years ago. Okay.
ナスダで働いてたんだ。
When I was born, there were 3 space development agencies. NASDA, ISAS, it's almost like ISIS, but with a slight letter change. and calling it NOW would just be weird. NAL. They all merged to form JAXA. Okay. So JAXA is a combination of all 3 of these space agencies. I don't think we knew that before. Unless I'm remembering wrong. My dad works for JAXA, so I know a lot about its history.
まあその話はどうでもいいだろう。要件をいいな。俺はロボ部と雑談してるほど暇じゃねえんだよ。
But there aren't any other customers? I mean, of the customers who come in here, are there any others who come in here besides Akiho, Kaito, and that one time with Subaru? And not to mention Misane, from the past. Bummer. I really wanted to hear more about his past. Same, Akiho.
今日は実は特に用はなくて。
Then why did she come here?
なんだそりゃ。
パーツを買いに来たわけじゃなくて、ドクに改めてよろしくねって挨拶をしに来たんだ。
What kind of heads up?
どういうことだ。
あと半年で万博でしょ。それまでの間、いろいろ入り用になるから、ドクにもいろんなこと頼むと思う。
Right.
なんとか半年でガンツク2を新しく作りたいの。だから協力してね。
Granted, this is Doc we're talking about. He'll probably be all, as long as you pay or something. Or so I thought, but I was wrong.
ガンツク2ってのは何のことだ。
Yeah, he's completely out of the loop of building a new robot. Needs to be brought up to speed here. I suddenly feel overwhelmed. It's like I can see Doc's aura flowing from his body. Like some kind of murderous intent. Should I be concerned? Granted, I've never actually felt a murderous intent before, but you get what I'm saying. I do, Akio, I do. He was in such a good mood. What happened? Did I step on a landmine without realizing it?
何のことだと聞いている。
怒ってる？
He sure sounds like it. But why would he be angry?
怒ってねえよ。
You say that, but you don't particularly sound not angry.
どう見ても怒ってるじゃん。
That's kind of hard to tell from his character model. It's like he just always looks like he's, asleep. It always looks like he has his eyes closed.
うるせえ。俺はいつもこうだ。
Not always.
それより、ガンツク2ってのは何なんだ。
新しいロボだよ。ガンツク1。こないだテストした1号機は、ひとまず開発を凍結して、万博出展用に新しくロボを作る。それがガンツク2で。
バカ野郎！
Oh. Now I can see a little bit of one of his eyes. Also, why are you calling her an idiot? I can't believe Doc's capable of shouting that loud. It surprised her. I thought my eardrums were gonna shatter for a second there. No wonder he listens to music that loud every day. And why am I even getting yelled at?
1号機があんなざまだっつうのに、それをほったらかして2号機を作るだ?
Okay, so he's saying that Model 1 needs work, and from this new information that she wants to build a new robot, that she's just going to like ignore Model 1 and not try and, you know, fix him in any way. So he wants to follow through on Gun Build 1 then, right? Instead of moving to a new robot. At least that's what I'm understanding here. And from a business standpoint, I guess that would make him a little angry because, you know, he's put a lot of time, effort, and money into Gun Build 1, and then just to all of a sudden move to a new robot that he would consider that to be a complete waste of time, of the time and he took on Gun Build 1. Yeah, it's like I can, now that I'm thinking about it, I can see where he's coming from.
お前が言ってんのはな、出来の悪かった子供を捨てて、新しい子供を作るっていうのと同じだぞ。
Yeah, basically what I was saying.
お前のあのロボへの情熱っつうのはその程度のもんだったのか。
It was not a lie, no. But if Akiho plans to be in that expo, she needs to move forward, and the way to move forward is to build a new robot. It's like she needs to explain that to the robot doctor here.
違くねえ。ダメだったから1号機は諦めるってことだろうが。こらえ性がなさすぎる。これだから最近の若いやつはダメなんだ。
I feel like he just bashed the younger generation, and I don't agree with that.
そんな気持ちのやつが新しくロボを作ったところでどうせまた失敗で終わるだろうよ。
I don't know. I feel like with the robot doctor's help as well as Jax's help, that with building another robot, that they can fine-tune everything together to where another robot won't be another train wreck.
出てけ！二度と顔を出すんじゃねえ！
Oh dear. He is super angry.
ロク。
お前は姉と同じでもう少し骨のあるやつだと思ってたかな。がっかりだ。
I mean, seeing that we don't know his relation with Misane, I really want to know why he's so disappointed. Especially since we've seen from, of course, not the robot doctor, but from Misane's and Akio's dad of what kind of happened, of her giving up on the robot club and giving up of making Gunvarel. It's like what happened back then, I'm sure also affected the robot doctor to some degree. So why is he disappointed in Akiho when he would also be disappointed in Misane from back then of giving up? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Doc sits down with his back turned to me.
あのね、うちだって。
Now he's just not going to listen. Yeah, he doesn't even want to listen. I know how stubborn he can be. Once he gets like this, it doesn't matter what I say. And to be honest, Doc's words hit me hard. I feel like I've been stabbed in the heart with a needle. I leave without saying a word. Oh. It's like that cut Akiho deep. And I feel sorry for her, to be honest. It's like she didn't deserve that. I stop and look toward the door for a bit, but of course Doc doesn't come chasing after me.
びっくりした。
I didn't think Doc was so attached to Gunbuild 1. I mean, between her and Misane, he's put a lot of work into that robot. So I imagine he would be quite attached to it. I'm not just surprised, I'm super crazy surprised. I always thought he was more of a dry pro, but he's actually hot-blooded like magma or something. I like people like that.
言われちゃったな。
I clutch my chest through my shirt. Like I'm abandoning my failure of a child, huh? Yeah, that's how he put it. I still plan on completing Gunbuild 1. Yeah, it's like, she does. She should have told that to him. But, she got all, scared and kind of flustered with him being angry. It's like, I would too. I even decided to chip away at it the other day, even if I have to do it alone. That's why I was having Doc repair the engine. Okay, that was her decision. He wasn't doing that on his own. I care more about Gunbuild 1 than anybody does. Of course, it's like seeing that it was Misane's brainchild. It's like Akiho still wants to continue building them and work everything out. Heck, I might even care more than Misa, and she designed it. Yeah, she definitely does, given what little we've had so far of Misane's background about this whole thing. But I need to put a lid on these feelings, at least for now. In order to go to the expo, in order to catch up to my sister, I decided to work on Gunbuild 2. And she needs Doc's help. It's like if he's not gonna help her, who is? I mean, Jaxa, of course, will help. You know, because of her father and now Nai, but they can only do so much, right? She needs a professional, you know, robot engineer, and the robot doctor is exactly that. It's like, who else can do it besides the robot doctor? I imagine no one else. And I think I made the right call. But if I play devil's advocate and think about how Gunbuild 1 must feel, I bet it feels like I've abandoned it. I bet it's tremendously sad and lonely. I feel my chest tighten. Oh. Anyway, I should head back to the hangar. I really do feel bad for Akio. It's like she's so passionate about all things robots, especially with Gunbuild 1. So to just have someone say those kind of things to her just now, that does cut really deep. If I'm banned from the robot clinic, I'm gonna need to figure out another way to obtain parts for Gunbuild 2. Yeah, really. Actually, wow. I can't believe the second person to get banned after Michi is me. What a shock. Oh, that's right, I kind of forgot about that. Michi was the first one to be banned. What? Actually? Did we get an explanation for why he was banned? I can't remember. Back to Kaito. I haven't been to school in a bit, but it's unexpectedly noisy. It's summer break, but the sports clubs are here. Why are the sports clubs there? The sound of arrows hitting their marks echoes out from the Kyoto range in the back. I hope I'm saying that right. There are several bicycles and motorbikes in the parking lot. There are fewer than when class is in session, but it's not empty. That being said, people rarely drop by the courtyard where the Robot Club room is located. It's pretty much just the soccer and surfing clubs who come to take various things out of storage. Oh, and Frau's here. Hi, Frau. It's like, did Kaito drag her out of her home? Basically. Right next to me, Frau seems kind of nervous as her eyes wander aimlessly.
学校来たの何日ぶり?
転校してきた日以来。
Yeah. It's like ever since she first got here. Which would have been... that was back still in June, wasn't it? Frau came to the island on the same day we returned from the Robo 1 Grand Finals. That means it's been over a month. So yeah, it would have been in June.
夏休みで人があんまりいないのにそれじゃ新学期はどうするの?
当然引きこもってますが何か。
Of course. she needs to go to school, though. The answer comes to her like it's the most obvious thing in the world. Doesn't seem like she cares a whit about graduating. I mean, she... with the way she talks and everything, she is at the same time, I want to say, a genius. So, given her intellect, seeing that she was able to, create Kill Ballad, she's like pretty much set herself up for everything in her life, that she feels that she doesn't have to go to school and she doesn't have to graduate. I don't want to say that she's like stuck up or anything. It's like she doesn't seem like she's that kind of, rich person. But she seems more like she's, like I think a trust fund kid. I don't really know what being a trust fund kid is all about. Then what was the point of transferring? Probably to know more about what the robot club is all about, I'm guessing, and to get closer to like Kaito and well, I was about to say get close to not just Kaito but also Akiho, but she's only really been interacting with Kaito, so I want to say that the reason she's there is to know more about Kaito and his ability of operating the robot, because she obviously saw the Robo 1 event and was impressed with what she saw. Geniuses are a weird bunch. Geniuses, I guess, could be considered a little weird. They're more eccentric than anything.
私のことはいい。アイリタンを移せ。アイリタンの戦いぶりを。
Airi is not a like a kill ballad robot or anything. And actually bringing up Airi right now, it actually reminds me from last video with that breakup of Takano-Ai's name, Takano-Ai, A.I. It didn't dawn on me until I was editing last video that Takano-Ai has to be an AI. When that realization hit me, I'm like, that explains so much. It explains that why Takano-Ai is always at number 1, and 2, it also explains why it seemingly appears that the person is like away from the game and is able to play it like basically continuously. So I strongly believe that Takano-Ai is in fact an AI and not just a person. And it actually got me kind of thinking, and kind of theorizing, what if Takano Ai is Airi? I mean, I know it's kind of out there a little bit, but hear me out here. I mean, Airi has been roaming around Tanegashima as an AI within IRUO for, yeah, how long has it been? 9-10 years? In that span of time, she would have a lot to do, and not just her, directive or that she's been given. So I could completely see Airi, kind of in her downtime, just kind of kicking back and playing Kill Ballad. I mean, it's, I know, kind of a stretch, but given the game so far, I don't want to completely rule it out. I mean, I feel like enough hints are there for Takano Ai to be not just an AI, but to be Airi in particular, and not another AI. I mean, if there is another AI, that would be cool and all, but the only AI that we've seen so far is Airi. So I feel like my explanation is kind of justified here. Anyway, she shakes her phone droid at me while making demands. I'm not exactly sure what she's referring to here, but that's not new, so I opt to just ignore her. Today we're going to ask Airi about Kimijima report number 3. Number 3 in particular, okay? Of where it is? We've gotten reports 1 and 2. We don't know the location of number 3, so I take it that that's why we're going to talk to Airi. We're planning to go and search for the report together afterward. I have no idea where it is, though. And he wants to get clues from Airi of where it could possibly be. I mean, I guess Airi would know where all the reports are, right? We might have to go as far as the north end of the island. I wouldn't be surprised if we were scrambling all day.
そもそもなんで集合場所学校なん?
Yeah, why it's school?
私の家でよくね?
今日のことはアキちゃんには内緒なんでね。
I mean, everything's been a secret from her, though. That's why I picked here instead of the airport. If Akio noticed us, she'd probably try to tag along. More than likely, yes. I told Akio that we'd be doing separate things today, and that struck a nerve with her. Yeah, because she's worried about him. I mean, it's not like we have jobs to do until Subaru finishes the Model 2 blueprints, so I'll do as I please. I decide to call Airi out immediately. The Kimijima reports seem to be scattered across the island. That means it could take a whole day to find one. Yeah, I mean, there's a total of 7 of them, right? If I remember correctly. So, to find all 7, you really would have to scour the whole island to find them all.
ハイリちゃん、いる？
Let me try taking out my phone droid. I take a look around the area and call out to her. I mean, I can bring it up. Before I do click on IRUO. Let's check Tweepo real quick. Regarding the report, I will help you look for it. She actually agreed. Didn't have to pull her along. Over the phone. Doc got mad at me. What? None that I can reply to. And Juna's response to Akiho, it's like, I wonder what is going through Juna's mind. It's like a little close to... Wait. That's unread. I could have sworn that I've looked at her geotag. Prao Kojiro. Born June 17th. She's a Gemini. 2002. That's the year I graduated high school. Age 17, blood type B. Lives in Nokon, Nakatane Cho, Kumagai-gun, Kagoshima Central Tanegashima High, Information Processing Course, Year 2, Class 1 Club, Robot Research Club, real name, Kona, real name, Furugori Kona. I could have sworn I read that before. Anyway, no ID through IRUO if I bring it up on my own. But I'm glad that I decided to check that out. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten this geo tag of Frow's. Literally a half second later, then I looked down at my phone droid.
Konnichiwa, Oni-chan.
Hi!
Airi-tan kita!
Yes, she is here. I was really hoping that if I had brought up IRUO on my own, that she would be like standing right next to the Frau, or maybe like peeking out from behind her. That would be adorable if she had done that. Frau leans up against me to look at my phone droid screen. Why look at mine? She knows she could see the same thing if she used her own.
それにしても、こんなロリ風幼女にお兄ちゃんと呼ばせるとか、ヤシオ先輩、さすがです。はあはあ。
Frau, it's like, yes, it's like, ID is cute and all, but let's not let's not be a little perverted with this.
コナちゃんさ、なんであえいでるんだよ。気持ち悪いよ。
Especially since she's like right next to him, I imagine her breathing is like right in his ear.
あと、くっつきなさんなって。Are you saying you don't want a girl to press up against you, Kaito? I forcefully peel Frau off my body and push her away. 少し落ち着け。一緒に連れてってあげないよ。
Frau was the one who asked if we could search for the Kimijima reports together. That's why I had her come out today. My words finally snapped Frau back to her senses. She takes a deep breath and hangs her head. Okay, so this is Frau sad. kind of like Akio sad, but of course different. Actually, with her character model here, it looks like she's about to pass out.
つい興奮しすぎたをさせん。お兄ちゃん。
Just called him Oni-chan. And she called him like that, exactly like Heidi just did. It's like with the right tone and everything. And I'm willing to bet Kaito is gonna be like, don't call me Oni-chan. She's definitely making fun of me. I shouldn't take her too seriously. I seriously thought that he was gonna be like, don't call me Oni-chan. The Kimijima reports are much more important right now.
ハイリちゃんさ、ゲジネになれる？
はい。では、アイリのどこかをタップしてください。
It's like the Frau is gonna completely take that out of context.
その操作いちいちしなくちゃいけないわけ？面倒なんだけど。前に勝手にゲジネになってたこともあるじゃん。だから本当はできるんでしょ？はい、
できます。
She admitted it? She did.
でも、お兄ちゃんとのスキンシップ、もっと取りたいので。
Be more connected, and in what way exactly?
これからもアイリのこと触ってくれると嬉しいです。
Okay. Kaito, just touch her.
ざわ、ざわ。
Excuse me? Zawa Zawa? What does that mean? Man, out of context, that sounds really bad.
おまわりさん、変態はここです。
I knew the Frau was gonna take that completely out of context. Frau says as her eyes wander wildly.
オナちゃんほどじゃないよ。
Touche, but Heidi is the one who's asking him to touch her. So, oh my god. I feel like I have to be careful of what I say here.
つまり私と先輩は変態仲間ですね。わかります。
Sure, yeah, let's go with that. Being lumped together with her is humiliating. This conversation is going nowhere fast. I ignore Frau again and tap on Heidi. And
アクセスを確認しました。
Geji mode activated.
ゲジネモードに移行します。こんにちは、ヤシオさん。
Konnichiwa.
謝れ！全国1億2000万人のロリコンに謝れ！
What? Excuse me, Frau?
何
なんでさっきのロリ風の幼女から変えてしまったのか。
I mean, she can change on her own too. So,
私は幼女のアイリタンが好きです。ゾウさんはもっと好きです。
what? Okay, that's a little off topic. Elephants? She loves more?
でも腐った話が通じるゲジネーターも割と好き。
Now's not the time to blush. Also, can you please decide whether you're happy or sad? It's like she's a teenage girl. Mood swings. Kaito, come on.
いい加減話の腰を折るのはやめてくれ。本当に連れてくのやめるよ。
It's like I can hear in his voice how serious he is.
さあせん。
Frau covers her mouth with her hand and urges me on with her eyes.
ゲジネ、君島レポートナンバー3についての情報を教えてくれないか。
Like the location of it?
詳細な位置情報は不明です。
I kind of figured that she wouldn't know the location of it. It's like we have to find it on our own.
AR アノテーションを可視化するためのフラグは以下の4つです。
What are the conditions this time?
1、君島レポートナンバー2を発見している。ゲジネより注釈。フラグ1はすでに達成済み。
Okay, that's one down.
2、メヒルギの花を撮影し、イルオにアップロードする。アップロードはアイリおよびゲジネの指定したアップローダに行う。
Condylia candle. A species of mangrove that exists in the Satsuma Peninsula and Southeast Asia. It has a long, thin, white flower. Never heard of it before. What was that sound?
3、チクラの岩柳に設置されたジオタグを3日連続で午後1時から午後4時まで3時間フォーカスし続ける。
That's very specific.
4、埋もれた鳥居にジオタグを付与した石を36個積む。ただし、すでに積まれた石を落としてはいけない。
I almost feel like I should write these down. But I take it I don't actually need to.
以上です。
I want to groan. Except he just did. These triggers are even worse than the ones for report number 2. I take it that every report has triggers that we need to fulfill.
その4つのフラグ達成するとレポートゲットだぜ。
Yes.
いいえ、フラグをすべて達成すると、現在は隠れている君島レポートナンバー3の AR アノテーションが可視化されます。
Okay. That also happened with report number 2, right? So. Okay.
具体的な場所はわからないままだよ。自力で探せってこと。
Yeah.
めんどくせ。
It is a little bit of a pain. I mean, the Tanegashima Island is a big island.
フラグ全部達成したら呼んで。それまで家にいるんで。
Of course, the Frau has no desire to activate the triggers. It's like she wants Kaito to do all the work. Frau shrugs and attempts to leave, but I firmly grasp her shoulder from behind. And as a result, she goes all, ah!
ふざけたこと言うね、コナちゃん。一人だけ楽しようなんてそんな虫のいいこと許さないよ。
さっき先輩が一緒に連れてってやらないって脅したわけだが。
数分前とは事情が変わった。手分けしてフラグをクリアするためにも一緒に来てもらう。
Cover more ground? That's actually a good idea.
ぐぬぬ。
It's like that's like Akiho's grr grr grr. Just without the part. Frau looks like she wants to flee, but she's not strong enough. I can easily keep her in place by holding her wrist. Okay, so he goes from her shoulder to her wrist. She could have gotten free from him when his hand goes off of her shoulder to her wrist. You know, that... I mean, sure, she'd have to be quick, but she would still be able to get away from him.
それにしても、今回のフラグってナンバー2のフラグとはかなり性質が違うな。
Yes, they are. I mean, I imagine with each report that the triggers required for the report will be completely different from the previous one. Number 2 was mostly game related. Stuff like downloading a game app, getting a high score, or completing a go-kart race with a good time. But this is different. The triggers are all outdoorsy. Okay, so if all the triggers are outdoors, then the third one has to be outside somewhere. Right? Where could it be hidden outside? And then there's the thread connecting them all.
ほとんどのフラグがイルオを使うことを前提にしてるのも変だ。
They do, don't they? Yeah.
変でしょうか。
だって、もしこのフラグを設置したのが君島光その人だったとして、君島光は10年前に死んでるから、それより前に設置されたことになるじゃないか。
Yeah. It's like all these reports he hid himself. And it's like he set a trail of breadcrumbs for someone to find, to follow. And at the end of that trail I take it, we'll learn a huge revelation about Kimijima and his death. This is so interesting. I love this side of this game. It's like just this huge mystery. I absolutely love it.
10年前はイルオはまだサービス開始してなかったわけだが。
Interesting. So, okay, so everything has been laid out beforehand. Like everything was foreseen or predicted. Interesting. I guess Frau is done trying to escape. Without me noticing, she's settled down.
そういうこと。なのに、イルを使うのを前提にしてるのっておかしいんじゃない？
I mean, that may seem odd, yes, but if everything was planned in advance, then it isn't all that odd.
今でこそポケコンとイルオはこれだけ爆発的に普及してるけど、
Yes.
10年前はまだ携帯電話が主流でスマートフォンが出てきたくらいの時期でしょ？
Right, yes. Smartphone. It's like we all know what this is. A gadget that was popular in the beginning of 2010. A device which could check email, browse the internet, manage schedules, and function as a phone. It rose in popularity with the addition of a high-spec touchscreen.
よく未来のことが分かったな。
Yeah. And I mean, it's an interesting route that this game is taking now. It's like predicting the future is no easy task.
イルオが普及せずに廃れてる可能性だってあったわけで。
Sure. I could see that.
もし2019年現在では手に入らないアプリになっちゃってたら、フラグは一生達成できないままだったんじゃない？
If that happened, all of his accusations would have just faded into the darkness.
マスターはイルオの開発が本業でした。
That was his primary occupation. Okay, so it was planned.
たとえイルオが普及していなかった場合でも、開発者という立場からフラグの設置が容易であるため、イルオの使用を推奨した可能性は高いです。イルオのソフト自体はフリーソフトであり、ネット上で手に入れることができます。なので、絶対にフラグを解除できないという事態にはなり得ません。
Right, that makes sense. It's like he would have made sure that his reports would be found regardless if IRUO wasn't made popular. Even if it wasn't made popular, it would still be accessible for those who would want to use it. Huh. That makes sense. Yes, it does. I guess there's no point trying to wrap my mind over these triggers. My job is to beat the game presented to me. And, yeah, it's like this whole thing with the reports, you know, with all these triggers, it's all like one huge game. And who better to find all these reports and activate these triggers, who better to do that than someone who's a gamer? Like Kaito. Very, very interesting. I love it. Though, like I said before, most of the gamey elements from report number 2 are gone.
フラグの内容について吟味していこう。フラグ1はもうすでに達成済みだからいいとして。
Yes.
フラグ2以降の内容を見ると場所にかなり偏りがある気がする。
Right. I'm a local after all. It's a small island, so I generally know where everything is. It may be a small island, but it's sizable enough to where it'll take a long time to find all these reports. Definitely.
フラグさんにチクラの岩屋っていう地名が出てるよね。
Yes. Actually, that reminds me. Juna and I saw that whale carcass at Chikura Cavern. I wonder what happened to it.
で、岩屋のある海岸には砂に埋もれた鳥居が立ってるんだ。メヒルギは群生してる沼みたいなところがあってね。県道75号線沿いだったりするんだな、これが。
Okay, Kaito has a little bit of knowledge about Candelia Candle. That's good.
チクラの岩屋に向かうには75号から側道に入るんだけど、その側道の入り口がまさにメヒルギの沼の目の前なんだ。
つまりどういうことだってばよ。
岩屋の近くにそれだけフラグが固まってるなら、ナンバー3のレポートも当然その辺りにあるはず。
Whether it be outside the cavern or inside the cavern. I'm guessing it'll be inside the cavern.
もっとあちこち駆けずり回されるかと思ったけど、そんなことはなかったな。
Yeah. It's like I guess the triggers just kind of narrow the location down. It's like those are the hints of where the reports are going to be located. Thank goodness.
ただ、フラグ3の達成条件はめんどくさいにも程があるね。これだけ異常に難易度が高い。
Well, it's not so much that they're hard, just time consuming. So yeah, just really annoying. Kind of like some requirements for some trophies or achievements for any particular game.
3日もあそこに通って毎日3時間もじっとしてろとか。
Yeah. It's like it's such a specific trigger to activate. 3 days in a row for 3 hours.
この流れなら言える。フラグを設定した君島講師はド S。
I mean, if you want to see him that way, go right ahead, Frau. I won't judge you.
俺もそう思ったよ。
Whatever. No matter how much of a pain this is, I gotta do it.
君島レポートのことは忘れて。これ以上探してはいけないわ。
And even though Misune warned him about the Kimijima reports and told him not to search for them, it's really too late. It's like his curiosity has been piqued enough at this point that he wants to learn more. Misune knows something about Kimijima Ko and his whole deal. Definitely. Most definitely. Whether she knows him personally or impersonally, she definitely knows something. And I want to know exactly what. And I have the feeling that if we try to talk to her about him, she'll not divulge anything. Especially if we call her, she'll just hang up immediately. But if we actually go and see her, maybe, just maybe, she'll talk. I know that's highly unlikely, but I can only dream, right? I glance at the clock and notice that it's a little past noon. We should hurry over to the cavern. Man, this is getting so interesting, but I don't want to go on super long. So we'll pick this back up next time and see what is at the cavern. So, things are getting juicy again, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for watching. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, like, favorite, and claw that subscribe button to become part of the pack. And as always, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be.